Teacher? Where are you, teacher? You are the teacher. Hello and welcome to the Knights of Awakening. I'm your host, Justin Bain. Before we get too deep into this, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and share with your friends. If you're not a subscriber, please consider becoming one. And as always, if you are a subscriber, thank you so very much. I had a community member named Teddy inbox me recently, and in part of the conversation we had, he said this to me. I feel that my posts suck, so that is why I don't post to any group. And I replied to him with this. We all have a teacher within us. You just need to find the confidence and awaken that part within you. It is there when you are ready to find it. Now, I know that sounds like something some dude would say sitting from the top of a tall, snow-covered mountain somewhere. And I will admit that it sounds a little bit cliche. Be that as it may, though, it's still true. Let me provide to you some context. This all came about because Teddy had asked me why a certain person hates them. This led us to a little short discussion about using fiction as a guide to practice a path here in the world in which we live. Being very frustrated with how things seem to be going lately because he felt that the fiction had been forgotten or even forbidden on the many groups and circles that he travels in. I just want to point out real quick, though, I have never come across anyone on my travels, at least to my knowledge, save maybe one or two of you, and you know who you are, young lady, who was not inspired by something fictional. And we're not just talking about Star Wars here either. When I first came to learn about these groups and communities, I had already spent many years studying or practicing different magical systems, religions, philosophies, and so on. I still wasn't satisfied, and it wasn't until I played the game Knights of the Old Republic on the old original Xbox that I felt the desire to reach out in a different direction, one that I had not considered. These were in the early days of Google and stuff, and I typed in a phrase, and I was blown away by how many people had already sought that path and how many people had already moved in that direction. And there were so many places. Most of them were old Yahoo groups, if you guys remember those, but I digress. This is what started me down this long road to where I am today. Where am I going with all this? I know, I'm being kind of slow today. But bear with me because I have 2 points to make. First off, there is nothing wrong with fantasy and fiction inspiring real action. It happens all of the time. And quite frankly, without the fiction of Star Wars as an example, the community may not even have developed to where it is today. Other things like the stories of Camelot and Merlin inspired entire generations of people. Harry Potter, Gandalf, superheroes, and so on. You get the point. But there comes a time where we must separate ourselves from the fiction and take that inspiration with us into the world in which we live and breathe. We have to come to a point where we run with that inspiration and apply what we can to this world. And if we can't separate eventually, then we are either lost in that fantasy or we come to the eventual realization that we can't use or practice what we were inspired by in the first place. My advice is this: share what inspires you with others. But try to share it in a way that creates discussion and opens honest dialogue. In many places, simply sharing the works of fiction without attempting to create discussions or lessons learned will oftentimes be met with some pushback. Even at our own KOA group page, this will happen to you if you just post a link to a video that is just purely a movie or a cartoon or whatever. If you don't provide any context or a direction that you're going in, then it's just going to be seen as fandom. Now, if you belong to groups that are fan groups, share away. Do whatever it is you want to do. But oftentimes in these groups where discussion and philosophy and the search for deeper meaning is important, then that's the kind of pushback you're going to get. And if you are here listening to this video, or if you're a member of these many different groups where these types of videos are shared, and most of them are clearly not fandom pages. So fandom brought them together, but the search for the deeper meaning within that fandom has separated them from the pure fandom, if that makes any sense to you. I'm of the mind that I don't care what inspires you. I really don't. As long as you're inspired to live your life and live to your maximum potential. As long as you strive to live a life of good and just action. A life dedicated to service and honor. After all, again, if you're listening to these videos, something about you seeks to live this kind of life in the first place. Because that's what most of these videos are about. But it's not up to me or anyone else to tell you what you can be inspired by and what you need to like. Sometimes inspiration is hard to come by. So if something calls to you, open the door and see what is knocking. To say, I feel my post sucks, so that's why I don't post to any group, leads me to my second point. This is why I said, we all have a teacher within us. You just need to find the confidence and awaken that part within you. It is there, when you are ready to find it. Confidence is key when putting ourselves out there. Allow me to share with you something that I have said in the past. A priest, a preacher, a rabbi, a monk, a guru, a master, a teacher can only show you the start of a path. They can only point you in a direction. They can only provide you with knowledge and instruction on a particular subject of faith or belief or a particular skill. They can teach you how to pray and how to meditate, how to perform religious rites or rituals. They can empower you with stories and learning exercises. They can provide you with advice and counsel from their points of views. But none of them can take you to God or gods. None of them can take you to heaven. None of them can show you where to find paradise or the force. You have to take the knowledge and the tools and internalize them. You must practice them daily. You must take the directions they gave you and forge your own path throughout the world. Most importantly, wisdom is only found when two parts are made whole, knowledge and action. When you can take the knowledge given and put it into action into your whole life, your whole self, the spiritual, the mental, and the physical, only then can you find wisdom through experience. All of those in the world you seek out to help you find what you're looking for, if they do not tell you that all you seek has been right under your nose the whole time, then much to learn they still have. We all have the capacity. We were born with it. Sometimes all we need is a gentle push into a direction. Sometimes simply sharing an experience is all you need to do to inspire someone else. And when you do find the courage and confidence to share your perspective and experience, understand that there are going to be people who simply are not going to agree with you. But for every one vocal dissenter, there are two people silently taking notice in the background. I look forward to seeing your comments down below. I also want to quickly thank Teddy for reaching out to me and starting this discussion with me, and for giving me permission to use his name. So thank you so much for sharing some of your time with me today. I love you guys very much. And until next time, awaken the night within.